two.
And then there were two.
What's up, buddies? And welcome to a new episode of Earbuds, the podcast where two friends talk about one album for certain amounts of minutes. I am one half of the Earbuds podcast. My name is Lucas Dandelion Greens and Jerkovs.
Oh.
And I'm here with my buddy, my co-host, the other 50% of Earbuds.
Oh.
Brett, do you live in this neighborhood? Hanrahan.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Yes, you do.
Look, Lucas, I don't like
What's
to
up?
throw the word premiere around very often,
Mm.
but I feel like this is a premiere podcast.
This is, I mean, premiere means the best, right?
I think it means the best, or at least like in the top.
That's, I mean, be as totally modest as I can be. I think you're right.
Which you are, by the way.
This is a premiere. I'm the most.
You're usually
humblest-
like the most modest, humble person I've ever met.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why today we're talking about a not so humble, a not so modest album on the first official video version of the video edition,
Hopefully.
hopefully, of the Earbuds podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And today we're talking about an album that I've loved for 10 years, I think at this point, maybe a little less. The self-titled album by Fidlar.
And what's it
Brett.
called?
It's called Fidlar.
Oh, okay. That's what self-titled means. I get it now.
Yes.
Okay.
What had you listened to Fidlar before we decided to talk about this record?
Look, when I was a youngin', I was a skater. I was skating around a lot. I was kind of going down the boulevard. I was bombing hills.
You were a skater boy?
I was a skater boy. I said to them later, boy.
Nice, nice.
So, yeah.
As you're wont to do.
As I'm wont to do. And,
Yeah.
of course I've heard of Fidlar. Like, I would skate by the beach, and I would just, like, see them around. It's like, what's up, guys? And we would just hang out, and,
Oh, nice. Did you do fucking cocaine with them? How much, I mean, that's a silly question. How much cocaine did you do with Fidlar? Or is it Fidlar? Did I get that wrong?
I mean, it's an acronym, right? So I guess I'd say
Is it?
Fidlar. Yeah. Oh, this is
All right,
fun.
well, I'm about to learn some shit.
Well, I forgot to say it, but it's fuck it, dog. Life's a risk. Fidlar.
Because I've been a huge fan of Fidlar for a long time, man, and it's been a while since I've listened to this record. And I listened to them a lot, maybe in my mid-20s, like getting to late 20s, when I was desperately trying to hold on to my youth.
Sure.
And to my angstiness and my, for no reason, just kind of like mad at the world
Yeah.
attitude that I would have for so long. And these guys were just such a great outlet for that, nihilism and angstiness and kind of like, fuck this, fuck everything. Like, I don't want to do shit attitude. But I do remember this album being better, personally.
I do believe that this will be the return of the tone grown. Just because it's...
You didn't like the tonage?
Well, it's a self-produced album, right? So,
Okay.
the two founders of the band, like, met up in a recording studio. One of them was an intern, one of them was working there.
Okay.
So self-produced, and so there are a couple songs where even someone who's, like, not listening for it, like me, could be like, okay, wait a second, this sounds completely different.
What do you mean? Like, what sounds completely different?
What do you mean? Well, like a song like, what's it called? Black Stout. Black Stout, like, when it gets to that song, suddenly it's, like, it sounds like the quality's completely dropped, the hi-hat sounds completely different. It's like it's kind of washing instead of, like, fuzzy and washing, and the vocals are a little more pushed back. Like, it seems like they had more production value on some of these songs against others.
Huh. That I didn't think about it that way, because I totally noticed that there were songs that the mix and the production quality, or I don't want to say quality, but maybe the production on it in general was pretty different. And those stood out to me for sure. And I think those are probably my least favorite songs because I felt like half of this record is so fun and so catchy and, like I said, angsty and bratty and all of that. So super charming and fun to listen to. But then it seems like the other half, and mostly the second half, is just kind of falls flat for me.
Well,
it loses a lot of energy, I feel like, and I feel like the production value maybe is what took me out of it too, because it sounds uninspired. Like there's some songs towards the middle and end of this record that just sound like they actually are bored playing it.
I know they made a couple like singles and a couple EPs before they released this full album, and I think maybe they took some of the tracks from them and just copy and pasted onto this album. Right?
Oh, okay.
And so that's kind of my theory of what happened for some of these songs, because if you go from like Max Can't Surf to Blackout Stout, if I remember correctly, it is jarring that it's like it seems more pushed back, it seems more fuzzy, but I think it's a fitting, even with the production inconsistencies, I don't think it's anything that like takes you out of the music necessarily.
No, I think the only thing that took me out of the music is when the songs became boring for me.
Sure.
Like I started getting bored. And it was right at Max Can't Surf. Right after Horror. I feel like the first 5 songs on this album are amazing. I love them so much. And then Max Can't Surf and Blackout Stout and Wake Bake Skate and Gimme Something, all those 4 tracks in a row just completely fell off for me. I would be bored, and they were just kind of slow, and they, like I said, they even sounded bored playing. That's why the other songs, more energetic songs, it sounds like they're having fun. And on the slower ones they're just kind of like like they look like Weezer.
I don't get that impression, man. I think Wake Bake Skate is a great song. I think 5 to 9 is a fun song that they did some kind of fun stuff with.
I like 5 to 9. Yeah, 5 to 9's great. Super obnoxious, like pop punk song. I love it. Wake Bake Skate, I like the energy, and it was like I love when the singer is basically just screaming.
Yeah, right.
And like they have so many catchy melodies on this album. Like on Wake Bake Skate, that in particular, like I'm so fucking cheap, I'm so fucking broke, so fucking broke. Like it's just they have so many angry, pissy, super catchy melodies on this record.
Yeah, and they have a lot of like kind of catchy. Well, I guess the melodies and the riffs usually go hand in hand. Like with Blackout Stout and fucking No Waves. And
No Waves. I'm a skater boy and I'm fucking bored and so catchy.
Give me something.
I feel like getting drunk. I feel fucking up.
There are definitely some songs on here that sounded like they just wanted to do like a modern punk, like rockin' Beach Boys song.
Yes, dude. This is like new age surf rock.
And
this album, it's so interesting.
Yeah, it's just weird. But
it's, I think, like, I still really, despite being almost 10 years removed from this record in particular, I still, and Fidlar, I don't know if you've listened to them lately, like, they've changed their sound a lot. It's crazy how different they are now.
Yeah, well, you asked about my previous experience with Fidlar, and aside from, like, hanging out with them in person and stuff,
right,
my
chumming it
first introduction to them was through my boy Will from from the old scene, from the fucking Butts, from Scoundrels, and he showed me Cheap Beer, which is just an instant classic. What a fucking opener, man.
I don't know if you remember in our fucking band, me bringing that song up like 38 to 42 times.
I do remember that, and I was
wanting to cover it so fucking bad.
Completely down for it.
Yeah, dude. So punky and garage rocky, like so bouncy and angry and fun.
But then
and sad and everything in between all that.
I got into their other stuff, and this album is on the bottom of my 3 albums, man.
I mean, I could see that, dude. Like I said, though, the first 5 tracks are just gold. Like I no complaints, and then it falls off hard for the next few tracks, and then in between, like for the rest of the album, it's really just 1 or 2 that I really like. So it falls off pretty heavy at the end, and so yeah, for me, it's like I remember jamming this whole thing, back in the day and loving every minute of it. But now it's kind of, it's like as a 35-year-old, unfortunately,
who would have thought?
It just sounds kind of childish and like adolescent, and
well, that's what it is.
That's part of the appeal for me too. Still at 35, I still love the angsty and the brattiness and like just the nihilism, just the like fuck it, everything fucking sucks about it.
Yeah, I mean, I never had any idea how prevalent drugs were. I knew they were a thing. I didn't think they were in like every single song they're talking about doing cocaine and like.
I mean, heroin, I think.
Yeah, a couple like, heroin.
Talks about a spoon.
Nods,
smoking weed.
Tips of the hat.
Beer.
But
drinking, like just fucking, everything, every drug that you could think of.
Right.
But it's interesting because, at the surface level, I feel like the lyrics could feel like we've been saying, a little immature and bratty and obnoxious. Right, but there's actually a lot of mental health struggles like being addressed and discussed on this album too. A lot of the stuff he's talking about is substance abuse issues and problems with taking too many drugs and only wanting to take drugs and only wanting to get fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
So like, we're at something, if you just look at it just from the surface, it's just, this is just some 22-year-old kid just talking about not only wanting to do fucking drugs. Like, this is what's going wrong with the country, where it is kind of true in a sense, but you're not realizing, if you kind of really dig into the lyrics, it is kind of a little bit of call for help. And I know that the singer struggled with substance abuse, and actually like Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day, I think kind of mentored the singer of the band. I think so. I think he saw a lot in them, or they had some sort of working relationship together, and they developed a personal relationship because Billy Joe has also had substance abuse issues throughout his life. So he saw this kid as a really talented kid who's like fucking killing himself basically, and he's like, dude, you gotta turn this around, because if you don't, you're gonna die young, basically. Right. So it's cool because what can seem as like an immature record, if you really pay attention, it's what can be passed off as childish and snotty about just getting fucked up and wishing you could just surf all day is like sneakily kind of a dark and heavy record to listen to.
Well, I think it's only that because the singer was just writing about the horror, like about the nasty kind of messy situation that he was in, and that situation is, kind of nasty. I don't think he meant for it to be this underlying subtle cry for help or anything. I think it just came out that way.
I think maybe he didn't mean it to be that way, but when someone talks about getting fucked up all the time, that is an underlying cry for help.
Yeah, but
I feel like
like in the punk scene, especially in a punk scene like this, I'm sure getting fucked up and being kind of like a trash slob of a person is kind of like a sign of respect.
Right. It's crazy that it's true, where like self-abuse gets celebrated like that in certain scenes.
Yeah. Well, just because it's so common, and it's just that you have to joke about it,
I mean, I kind of feel like it's so easy to fall into that trap too, man. Like if we had made it as a band, who's to say that, we get so big where all of a sudden access to shit that I never thought I would want to try, or I would never even have around me, all of a sudden becomes, I can just reach into someone's pocket and take it.
Right. Like vape.
Who knows what could happen. I feel like, like a vape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, it's a rough source of nicotine.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. You don't want to be doing that shit. Yeah. Vape cannabis. Don't vape nicotine.
You could have even gotten into dip. Who knows?
I mean, that's the worst that I probably could have gotten
I think
into
that's like the worst drug, right? 'Cause that's like the worst.
That's the worst I've heard.
That's the
of.
worst thing they sell at the gas station. So I don't know what else.
It's worse than Cocaine, I think, which is the last track on this record. They literally have a song called Cocaine.
And Cocaine is the one where you drink it.
You can. Let's not get
Okay.
into it.
All right. Let's just move on.
Let's just move on. But yeah, man, I think like this album, I remember liking it a lot more, but between the vocals, which I think are super fun, it's a weirdly really catchy record that is dark in the themes and kind of like fucked up in the stuff that he's talking about, but it's so dancey and catchy and fun to listen to that you kind of are like disarmed by it, So I think overall I liked it, but there was definitely some duds.
And when did you how did you first hear this band?
I had a friend show me, one of my really good friends showed me this band, and I think he showed me Cheap Beer first, or maybe something off of their second record. But man, I was just in that phase where I was just starting my career and I fucking hated everything, and I hated my job, and I hated that I had to do this, and I felt stuck in it, and I lived in a shitty apartment and just everything. It was just so perfect for me at the time.
Right.
And so I got really, really into them and kind of, fell off a little bit like when they really started changing their sound. But I can go back to this and fucking, man, like I said, those 5 songs and a handful of other ones at the rest of the record, man, I fucking love so much.
I mean, I would say their most recent record, Almost Free, is my personal favorite one. Even though they're doing a lot of different weird stuff, I think
a lot of different stuff. Is that the first one you heard by them?
No,
you heard Cheap Beer. I know.
Yeah,
that,
I heard Almost Free when it came out.
Okay.
And I remember thinking Fidlar, oh, they're cool. I heard their albums. 2 was my favorite one at the time, and I think it is.
I love that record,
I think it's
man.
the better budget version of what they were doing on here, with kind of more
Yes.
thought put into the songwriting and stuff.
For sure. And I think it dealt a lot more with him trying to stop getting fucked up. All the
Sure.
time. Yeah.
But I also think this album, the first album, Fidlar, has a very punk and raw energy and attitude in it that not that they didn't replicate it or anything like that, but just that it was a very specific era for them in this up and coming band. I doubt they expected anything to come out of this, right?
Yeah, maybe not, man. I don't know. I don't know what the story is behind this record and them putting it out. If anyone who's watching, if you guys know the history of was this record self-released? I mean, were they already on a label and that's why maybe some of these songs got a little more attention and a little more money put behind it? I would love to know, because I didn't get to do any fucking research for this. I've been so goddamn busy.
What have you been up to, man?
Dude, working my fucking dick off.
Oh shit!
I'm just.
Is it just
I'm working
smooth over
hard,
there,
man.
or is it?
I'm like a Ken doll.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
Yeah, it's just completely. I'm an innie.
Way easier to ride a
if
bike
anything.
now, though.
Dude, that is really painful. I can't ride a bike.
Man, I tried to do the bike at the gym, and I got to keep readjusting where everything is.
Where everything is.
Yeah, well, because they all kind of go their separate ways.
That's true.
And everyone thinks I'm just playing with
To and
myself.
Yeah, dude, it's just so painful for me to ride a bike. But honestly, other than work, dude, I'm working in the cannabis industry now, so fucking there's never enough work to do. There's never not enough work. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm fucking busy as shit. I'm writing a bunch of stuff. I'm doing a bunch of social media stuff. I'm learning a lot of shit, so it's fun. But it's busy as shit. And then I'm basically have something to do every night of the week now. Between recording this with you, between my boxing, one-on-one boxing lessons that I've been doing,
Hell
which I'm
yeah.
fucking loving. Dude, I went hard yesterday. Oh my god, I wasn't even out of breath, but I was for an hour after I got back home. I was sitting on my couch just going I was exhausted.
Jesus Christ!
My entire shirt was soaked at the end of it.
With what?
And I was just going hard with what?
Yeah.
Oh, don't ask. It was, yeah.
I know.
It was off colored.
the
I don't know what it was,
but it was not something you should get on there.
It's not something I want on me again. That's for sure.
Man, I've been so fucking drained. I went to the boxing gym today and I went for half an hour and I'm like, man, I'm just done. Like, that's all I usually try to do an hour, but like, I was just exhausted. And you know, this album, I can't listen to music while I work out, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I feel like this would have helped out a lot. Listening to fucking,
maybe it would have helped you push through a little bit.
Yeah, it would have given me the attitude and energy I need. But you know, sometimes you win some, you lose some. I'm going tomorrow, you know, hopefully.
Fuck yeah.
We'll see what's up.
That's what I like to hear, man. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yesterday was bumping it up to the next level for me. Like, I feel like I'm at like beginner 1.2 level now.
What were you doing, like sit-ups?
Dude, I mean, I was doing full hour workouts, everything from routines to fucking like squats to doing the ladder thing where you with your feet going in and out, to doing the ropes, to shit with kettlebells, to everything from that to like punching my, you know, fucking instructor like in the stomach, like doing routines and shit. Like he's wearing a pad around his waist and everything. It's so fucking fun, but there's, you know, we've definitely, the last 2 times that we've done it, I haven't been sore afterwards. So I told him, I'm like, hey man,
all right,
I'm like, I haven't been sore for 2 fucking weeks, and I'm just like, I think I'm ready for the next level. And he goes, oh, okay. And so yesterday I was doing squats across the park, like lunge squats, holding a 10-pound kettlebell and having to do it from one end of the park to another. And then when I get to one end, I did 5 squats, and when I got to the other end, I did 5 more squats. And then I had to run the ladder, and then I had to do the ropes, and then we did a shitload of routines, and we always end with like 10 minutes of ab workouts.
Well, I mean, talk about like taking the parking brake off. Talk about adding the turbo.
Dude.
You don't tell a boxing instructor.
Dude, why do you think I did it? I did it for a reason. I feel fucking great today, but I'm exhausted. And yesterday, I was a little worried at how tired I was afterwards.
Like it was getting to a kind of health level.
Yeah, like how, oh my god, it did get kind of a little freaky. But man, then we opened up a bottle of champagne
and all was right.
Celebrated to like just renewing our lease in California and fucking being here for at least 1 more year, you know, and enjoying this city. And so we did that, and we got ramen and fucking like, you know, watched Hell's Kitchen for like 3 hours and just ate ramen and drank champagne. And, you know, after a fucking heavy fucking workout, treating yourself like that, we're like, I told my instructor what we were doing, and he said that he was like, God damn, y'all are celebrating like Korean diplomats. I'm like, yeah, fucking champagne.
That's what we're aspiring to be.
Is ramen Korean? It's Korean, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I don't know.
I'm sure someone's gonna fucking tell us. But anyway, going back to this record, man, what were your fucking choice nugs, my dude?
I'll tell you, bud.
Tell me, because I kind of care. A little. I care enough to sit here and fucking listen to it.
All right. Well, I will say I do think the record kind of fell off a little bit near the end, though I would put it more around like Paycheck, honestly.
Oh, wow. So, like, really close.
Like, just the last 3, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I feel it.
And even the last song was, like, kind of an interpretive cover of an old folk song.
Was it?
I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like, they used, like, 80% of the lyrics, and the music is, like, you know, it's very interpretive cover.
Like the secret track, or cocaine?
No, cocaine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Cheat cocaine's a whole other thing.
I like it.
But I didn't have that one on mine. But my honorable mentions are White on White. I think that has like the best intro on the album to me.
Yes.
It just gets an energy across real well. Max Can't Surf is funny.
I don't like that song.
I don't like the song as much, but I like the attitude.
Yeah.
LDA, I thought was oddly catchy.
I didn't like that song either.
Okay, all right.
Meh.
And so And also, No Waves was an honorable mention.
Yeah.
It might be.
I love that song.
So I'm going to go to my first obvious pick, which we kind of already talked about, which is Cheap Beer.
Yeah, me too, dude.
It's got to be, right?
It's what a fucking opening track for a record.
I think
dude.
it's funny that they chose like such a beachy sounding riff to start off the album with, and then they go into distortion, and it's like, oh, okay, this is a punk album. Yeah, dude.
Dude, the verse riff and the chorus riff are just as fucking fun.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what made me want to play the fucking song, man. That's what made me want to cover it so bad.
An instant classic punk song, and instant classic song. Just the way he's like fucking screaming his brain out in the verses, talking about like getting fucked up and going down the highway and stuff.
Almost like a day in the life is what it sounds like.
And it's, I drink cheap beer, so what? Fuck you. Yeah. It's like like an anthem. It's like a punk anthem.
The chorus is so fucking fun to sing along with. And I never noticed the background vocals in the beginning.
I still haven't noticed that.
Like, yeah, dude. There's some sort of like ba 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 ba, and it's just that's just like so clever, and that's where where I say like so much of this record is a new age surf rock record. It's just garage rock from the fucking 50s mixed with angsty punk from 2012.
Mixed with cocaine.
Mixed with fucking cocaine and pretty much everything else in between. But yeah, Cheap Beer is such a fun opener. The energy is fucking infectious. I love it so much.
There's a reason it's still one of their most well-known songs, it just encapsulates this raw energy.
And it kind of tells you what to expect on the record,
right?
With that surf solo too, the
right.
Like it's so Dick Dale, throwback surf rock that it's just been modernized and fucking made pissed off rather than having fun. Like these are like new surfers. Like these dudes like longboard, they don't surf.
Or maybe both. Who knows?
Or maybe both. Oh my god, that's so California.
So what are some of your honorable mentions, bud?
Dude, I love Stoked and Broke.
Right.
I love more garage rock on that one.
Yep.
I love No Waves. I feel like getting
So
drunk,
it's probably the catchiest song on the record.
Dude, that chorus like that.
Yeah.
So fun. I love the bass and the drums with the distorted vocals and the verses, just kind of the drums just going off and the bass is kind of distorted and so fun. I love Horror. Horror is such a great song. The back and forth between the really fast paced kind of punky dancey stuff and the heavier choruses that are slowed down kind of.
Yeah.
Such a cool combo. And then that jangly guitar towards the end I love. And 5 to 9 and Cocaine. Both of those I love a lot. But my second choice, Nug, you mentioned it as one of your honorables, man. It's White on White.
White on White. One of the few songs that I would say has like a theme that kind of has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, I don't even really know what he's saying in it. I just think it's a really energetic riff and rhythm and just super catchy chorus or verse and that boom boom.
Yep, super catchy. Love how they cut it for a second and then come all in.
Yeah, dude, and then during the verse or the choruses when they're doing like that, and the drummer's going like, like kind of cutting it in half and hitting the hi hat.
And how
I don't think it gets any catchier than the money got no place to be.
Mm-hmm. Such a crazy energy. Such fucking energy, man. A song that would absolutely destroy live.
Yes, dude. If we had covered this one too, I would have been okay with being a Fidlar cover band. Honestly,
that might have been nice. We could have at least done like a two-parter like cover.
Yeah,
at least
we could have called ourselves Midlar.
Mid, because we're mid.
We'd be like mid.
Yeah, because we're like,
we would not be as good. I don't know if we could play white on white as good as these guys, but I mean, we'll give you a mid version of it.
Kind of like, whatever.
Like a 9.
Like a 6 out of 10.
I mean, I at least gave us a 9, but whatever.
Well, let me tell you what my second nug was.
Just tell me.
And it was originally gonna be No Waves, but today, right now, I'm feeling 5 to 9.
Yeah, dude. Another fun, angsty one.
I think the only song that has acoustic guitar on it, and the way it's just the vocals and the guitar, and then it comes in with the music and the immediately catchy
So catchy.
Such a cool vibe. It's a minute long. Love the fucking minute long songs.
Yeah, it sounds like they're having so much fun, so I'm having
right. Fun. And they managed to stick a guitar solo in there, which they don't have a lot of, No,
they don't. And I like the way they do guitar solos.
Right.
They're kind of understated. It's not ridiculous and, fucking Avenged Sevenfold.
No, it's not like
style.
A metal band where they're kind of like, they're sweeping and going up and down the neck.
And it's all very kind of, all their solos are kind of twangy.
Yeah.
A lot of bend notes. Kind of jangly, almost, kind of Americana or like, just so, I don't know. There's something very American about them. About this
band. Salute.
Yeah. Very fucking patriotic. But 5 to 9 is really fun. Super angsty, great pop punk song and super fun to listen to, man.
And then it gets into LDA, which has a completely different production again.
Couldn't be more different.
But shit, man, what did you rate this back when you first heard it, and what are you rating it now?
Back when I first heard it, this would have been a 9.0 or more.
Wow.
For sure. I loved this record. I'm telling you, man, I heard it so much, and it's just been, I haven't listened to it in maybe 5 years at this point. I have it on vinyl, just haven't put it on, But when I was listening to this 7-10 years ago, the angst and the brattiness and the nihilism and the fun and how charming this record was for how, fucking ridiculous it is, was such a huge part of their appeal to me. And listening to it again at such an older age, it kind of hit me in a deeper way a little bit, where back then to me it was just a record about getting fucked up and being, fuck everything and nothing matters. Now it definitely has deeper, darker themes to it throughout it that I never really noticed before, with the mental health struggles and the substance abuse stuff. And you kind of realize it's almost like when you're 21 and you go to a strip club and you think it's the coolest thing in the world, and then you go again at 30 and you kind of feel bad
you're like,
for them, or you kind of feel gross.
Like
that's
they have parents, and
like that's someone's daughter. Like there's a C-section scar. Like that tells me, it kind of gets darker and deeper the older I get. So it has a deeper meaning to me now, this record, and I kind of appreciate it on a different level, despite still being so fucking fun. So I'm gonna give it still a solid fucking 7.8.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad, man. I still really love this record, and especially the first 5 songs I think are just so strong. And if those first 5 songs were an EP, it would get a fucking 9 point something.
Yeah.
But how about you? I mean, you have a different kind of history with Fidlar and got into them in sort of a different route. I'm not sure. Maybe you've appreciated the later stuff that they've done. So going back to this earlier shit, what would you rate this record? Man,
well, if I was to rank the 3 albums they have, Fidlar, 2, and Almost Free, this is at the bottom,
Yeah, I would say you're probably right.
Which is fine. It's not like it's a bad album by any means. I saw these guys at ACL a couple years ago, and part of me died at that show.
Because what, they were so good?
Because I got heat stroke.
Oh, fuck. Did you pass out?
It was very close. That ACL was a fucking tumultuous season. It was like, Dude. It was 100 degrees out. I told you this before, but I was drinking water all day, refilling, drinking. I never went to the restroom for 10 hours.
Wow, dude, it's crazy to me that people fucking drink alcohol at
It's
ACL
fucked up. It's not
and
even fun.
I don't
don't
even see
get
them
it.
drinking water. I'm like literally concerned for people. I'm like, oh, please drink. I'll grab someone. I'm like, please just take my water bottle.
Like
fucking drink something. It's 100+ outside. It's dusty as fuck.
Ugh,
There's a shit ton
God.
of people. There's no shade. Literally, like,
There's
almost
one
zero
tree,
shade.
and they have like a tent.
That, everyone is under.
Yeah, everyone's
So-
in it. There are people just like watching the football game, and it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, I feel like people underestimate Austin city limits, man. Like,
But-
I can't believe you almost had a fucking heat stroke, even if you were drinking water all
No,
day.
I'll tell you, man, guys, watch out for Austin city limits. You might not know it, but there is actually grass on that field all year, except
Usually.
for day 2, it's gone.
Yeah, and day 2 is when I'm wearing a fucking bandana over my face, dude, looking like fucking Purge.
Because here's the thing: everyone expects October. Oh, it's gonna be nice and chilly. It's gonna start getting chilly for the winter. No, guys, it's still 90
It's so
to
hot.
100. It doesn't get cold in Texas until like November. All right, and
Even then, it doesn't really get cold. I remember sometimes it didn't get cold in Texas until Christmas Day.
then, like at the Fidlar show, I was in the fucking pit. If you watch any
Ooh.
videos, like I'm there, like I'm in the
You can
4th or
see
5th
yourself
row.
getting
Yeah,
tossed around.
yeah, I was. Oh my god, I killed myself to
Dude.
no waves, drones, cheap beer, obviously. But it's so crowded, guys. It's literally like you get in there and you can't move. You can't move your
like a
fucking
public-
arms. It's.
This is a public service announcement.
I'm just saying, go to
Dude, have
go to
you
a
ever-
different festival.
Yeah, ACL. I mean, it's if you're young, man, go enjoy it, and but it's insane the older you get. It's just fucking insane. But have you ever been in a show where the crowd is so packed in that you're literally all swaying together and you don't really have control over your fucking body?
No, I've never been in something like that.
Dude, it happened to me only at one show, and it was one of the scariest things that I've ever experienced at a show. It was, I literally at one point was completely flat. And I had someone completely flat on top of me, and I was completely flat on top of someone else. And all of a sudden we all get up at the same time and we all start, going forward, and then we're all going left and right. And I literally was at one point not even on my own feet. That everything was so tight that I was
Dude,
being lifted up by other
What
people
fucking
around
show
me.
were you at?
Killswitch Engage.
Oh, okay. Well,
The moment they started playing, I mean, literally Dragon Force had already played, Chimera had already played, and some other super fucking heavy band had already opened. And once Killswitch came out, shit fucking changed. Things got really scary for me.
oh man.
And in the middle of the first song, I was finally able to break out, and me and at least 3 other friends all looked at each other, panicked, and fucking ran to the back.
Well,
And we just stood in the back the whole rest of the show because we were in the very middle of the crowd.
no, dude, like fuck that. Like
Oh
fuck
my
that.
god,
actually.
dude, it was so fucking terrifying. Where I literally, like, at one point, I had someone on top of me where I couldn't breathe. Like, they were on top of me, and someone was on top of them, and someone was on top of them, and someone was on top of them. Like, to where everyone was weighed down. That's how shit happens. That's how shit gets.
Man.
That's how people get hurt, man. It's fucking nuts.
And so that's why I'm giving this record a 7.3.
Okay, see, I think that's a pretty good rating.
Yeah. It's got some inconsistent production, which I'm not going to mark too bad against it because it's just like a fuzzy punk band, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear the bass at all.
Oh, see, I changed the settings, the settings on Spotify when I listen, and
Sure.
I put like rock settings, so it turns up the bass on it.
But
So it sounds great to me with that tweak. It sounds really good. Actually.
definitely some super catchy songs, some classic punk songs. There are a couple flyovers. I think "Gimme Something." I think "Paycheck," "Waiting for the Man," "Cocaine." Yeah, whatever. But
Yeah.
a great debut, a great self-produced debut, and I'm excited to see what they have coming up, if they have anything coming up, because I know it's going to be something new, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna evolve a little bit from the last record. I need to go back to the last record and give it another shot.
Dude.
When I heard it, it was just so different that I kind of rejected it a little
Yes,
bit.
it's very different, but
Yeah.
instead of instead of being on a skateboard and like fucking around and going through, just imagine you're like on a longboard and you're cruising through the city and you got the air on you. Just imagine that, and maybe we'll see if you get a little different experience.
All right, I can do that. I'll just get really stoned.
Just get really stoned, man. Just listen to, like, in a day and you can get rich quick. Don't talk, just like my shit.
Okay, I kind of remember that one.
It's like the second song.
Well, there you have it, man. 7.3 and a 7.8. Pretty fucking good. Still a solid record. Buddies, what did you guys think of this record? Do you love Fidlar as much as Brett does, or do you love Fidlar as much as I do? Do you hate them as much as Brett does, or do you hate them as much as I do? Fucking let us know in the comments. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe with the follow and the thing and the bell. Do all that. Check us out on Instagram at EBPcast. Check us out on, if you're watching the video, we're also on Spotify. We're on every fucking podcast network that you can find. We have tons of fucking episodes. What other albums do you guys think that we should talk about and break down in way too minute of detail? Let us know. But in the meantime, Brett, what are we talking about on the next episode?
We're talking about this local rapper. I think his name's K-Dot. Is it K-Dot?
Oh my god.
Or no, his name is Mr. Morale. And he's got his band backing him up.
Fuck.
The Big Steppers, I believe.
Oh shit. So we're doing Kendrick's new album?
I mean, that was a plan, right? Like
That's the plan.
That's the plan. Yeah, I've listened.
I put that evil on us.
I've listened through it once, and I'm not gonna say anything. It's just a very long album. It's gonna take some time to kind of parse it. That's all.
It sounds like kind of a divisive album too, man. So I'm curious. I haven't heard it at all yet. So there you go, buds. We're gonna listen to Kendrick Lamar's newest record, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Is what it's called.
Yes, sir.
Right? All right, prepare for that one. Listen to it, buds, and thank you for listening to this. We love you guys. Tell your friends about us. Brett, what would you rate this episode?
I'm gonna rate this episode a 9.5 to 9.
Nice. I'm going to rate this episode a 9 cocaine.
Okay. Out of what?
Out of 9 heroin.
All right. So we still got a ways to go, but, you know?
It's kind of,
hey,
yeah,
I'll take it.
It could use some work.
At this point, I'll take it.
Well, thanks, buddy.
All right. See y'all. Bye.
Brett, this was good.
Lucas, this was good.
Salute. And 3, 2, 1.